people that say that NASA never landed a man on the moon, that the entire Apollo 11 moon landing was faked, filmed on a Hollywood soundstage. Here's their evidence and how it can be disproved. First, they say the American flag that the astronauts put in the soil, it appears to be waving.
On the moon, there is no atmosphere, there is no air, so why would the flag be moving? And what people need to keep in mind is that flags are just made of cloth, of some sort of very flimsy material. They don't need wind to move. They just need some sort of force to be applied. So when the astronauts were trying to plant the flag into the moon, just like we're trying to put down a tent post into the ground, they're twisting the pole, trying to get it down into the lunar soil, and they're literally causing the pole to go back and forth, and so the flag is simply moving in response to that. And after they even stop moving it, it will still take a little bit of time to settle. And some people show pictures of the flag looking like it has this rippled effect to it, like flags on the Earth do when they are flapping in the breeze. And this is because in Apollo 11, they apparently couldn't extend the flag fully. The pole got stuck. So the flag was crunched up onto itself a little bit. So it was forced to take on this shape. It's not rippling in that shape. Another thing that people point to a lot of the time is what we call the starless sky. So people say the pictures couldn't have been taken of the moon because there should be stars in the sky. And what people understand is that the stars are competing basically with the astronauts themselves, with their very bright, essentially white spacesuits, and with the lunar surface, which is a very, very bright gray, and all of the light that these guys are giving off. The stars are trying to compete with that to show up in the film. And when you're setting the camera so that you can see the astronaut, the spacesuit, the lunar surface, they win that competition. They win it by a mile, and the stars are simply not giving off enough light to show up in there. The stars are there, trust me, but they're just not showing up. Almost all of these hoaxes are based on the photos that they took. Photos taken of the lunar lander, pictures of the lander don't show this huge, obvious crater underneath it. And people make the argument that whenever you're trying to land something, they must have been firing these rockets away, and it would blast out all of this lunar soil. It's a terrestrial, we call it terrestrial argument. It's Earth-based. Now you're on the moon. Gravity is much, much weaker. So this lander was not firing its rockets at this full thrust as it was struggling to slow it down in time. The lander was already going relatively slowly by the time it got close to the moon. So it did cause dust to fly out. There are videos they took on the side of it when they were landing. You can see dust flying away. They found somewhere around a 4 to 6 inch crater underneath the lander. It's just not this huge one that everybody's looking for, so it doesn't obviously show up in the pictures. Another conspiracy theory, there are these dramatic footprints. They're so crisp, so well defined. Every little feature of the soles of their shoes is right there preserved. And a lot of people like to point to this to say, well, it's too good, it's too well defined. On the moon, there is no atmosphere. They haven't been weathered. So all these little particles have these rough, jagged edges. So they will cling to each other very well. So if you step down into it, it'll push them out of the way, but they're not going to fall back in to fill that footprint. When people say that it looks like they stepped in wet sand, that's literally what the astronauts called it. They said the lunar soil is like talcum powder or wet sand. The conspiracy theorists can easily be forgiven because they have an Earth mindset. They've only ever experienced the Earth. So in order to try to apply Earth reasoning to photos of the moon, it is hard, and you will get tripped up. And you'll see things that don't make sense to you. How the gravity is different, how the lack of an atmosphere, how all of these different things will shape your world, your environment.
You're watching Exploration Outer Space.
There were so many positive things that emerged from the successful effort to land a man on the moon. But perhaps the best thing of all was how it inspired an entire generation of talented people to improve our lives through science.
For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world.
I was an 8-year-old kid when watching Apollo 11. I remember like it was yesterday, and that's what inspired me to start dreaming about wanting to become an astronaut myself.
We were exploring another world. I remember with my little children being at a lake and coming out of the
That
lake
Zoom
to
buggy was
neighbor's
really
television
good.
set to go and check on little children being at a lake and coming out of the lake to our neighbor's television set to go and check on their progress every hour or so. And to this day, many decades later, I feel privileged to have it, even in the smallest way, been associated with what I consider the greatest technological success of the 20th century. Have we lost it? By no means. The challenges of preparing for an international human Mars exploration mission will be every bit as great and every bit as exciting. And I'm so certain that the very students that I see coming through our classes today will be the same people who are going to be involved. They're going to go and be the ones who will be sharing this great adventure in the future. Just as surely as